It's an amazing card. It's an amazing card, but the Oliveira Makhachev fight, that's the big one. That's the big one because there's so many questions. And, you know, Oliveira has never fought a grappler like Islam.
No.
But Islam's never fought a guy who can submit people like Oliveira can. Oliveira fucks everybody. That dude's a bad motherfucker.
Yeah.
Islam's, he's for real. That grappling is serious. Because that kid, Drew Dober, is very good. For him to handle Drew Dober that way, I was super impressed. Well, I'm a big Islam nut rider.
I know you are. I know you are.
I think he's awesome.
And we came today. We came to shut that shit down. His style points in his fucking
but
house.
You're here, man. You're here because I love
house.
you.
The real G's are in the house today.
Listen, you're here because I love you. But the reality
real
is
G's in the real
that guy is like if you just look at someone who can win. Here's what's interesting about Charles Oliveira. When Charles Oliveira fights, even though he's the champion, he fights like a berserker. He fights. He puts himself in danger. Like, he doesn't fight safe. He doesn't fight to try to outpoint you. He doesn't fight tactically, like where he's trying to get, you know, the least amount of damage and, you know, and drag you into deep water and then strategically try to take you out in the fourth and fifth round. No. From the moment the first bell rings, he's coming at you.
Engaging,
guns blazing. And Gaethje was coming at him too, but it's like Gaethje was overwhelmed by Oliveira's pace and his aggression. It's why, and even when Gaethje cracked him, Oliveira's so different than anybody else. When he gets hit, he just lays on his back.
Yeah.
And he's like, come get some of this. And nobody wants that guard game.
He gets a break.
So he's got the most submissions in the history of the sport.
He recovers.
Yes, so because nobody wants to go to the ground with him. Oliveira's a monster. People think of Oliveira as not being a monster because there's times that people have beaten him. Like Paul Felder smashed him, and there's a lot of guys that beat him. Cub Swanson KO'd him. Guys have beaten him, but he got better. And you gotta accept that and not think of like when he lost.
Because so many people, well, who gets better at 35? I
don't believe he's 35.
No?
No, I think he's younger than that. And I think he's 33. And I also think that he got into the UFC when he was 20. And so part of the problem was like he was learning and developing and growing as an elite in an elite organization. How old is he? 32.
Oh, okay, wow.
32. So, see, he's been around a long-ass time. But he came into his own over the last few years, which kind of makes sense. Like, he figured it out somewhere around 27, 28. But he comes, look, these guys are elite, right? They come close to beating him, but he finds a way to beat them. And the way he does it is so final. The thing about Oliveira is everybody looks at Oliveira at his lowest points. And his lowest points, Cub Swanson knocked him out. Paul Felder smashed him. All these people beat him. But something happened when that dude had a kid. That's what it is. That dude had a daughter. And there's a fire inside of him like the fucking center of the sun. And I don't know what it is, man. But he's a different human, man. He goes right into the line of fire, too.
Straight.
He's not taking any shortcuts. It's all risk. He goes right in, and he's 100% confident. It doesn't matter how hard you hit him, he's going to be fine. No, you don't want that ground game. Yeah. His ground game is so elite. It's so good. I mean, I wonder how he would do in a world-class Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu tournament. Because I think he would do very well. Because I watched the way he finishes submissions, the way he syncs things up. I mean, it is top of the food chain stuff. I've seen a lot of jiu-jitsu in my days. I've rarely seen anyone compete in MMA that closes the show like Oliveira when the fight goes to the ground. His shit is razor sharp. Razor sharp. World found out about him was Efrain Escudero, who won the Ultimate Fighter. So, who was a very good fighter himself. He fought Oliveira, and Oliveira took his back same way, standing up, and choked him out. And that's when we first saw him. And the first time I recognized him, like, man, this kid is talented. But then it was like his jiu-jitsu was really good, but maybe his striking wasn't as good as his jiu-jitsu. And then slowly his jiu-jitsu and striking merged, where he's like equal. In both of them, he's lethal in. He's lethal in his striking and lethal in his jiu-jitsu. But the difference is his level of jiu-jitsu is a leap higher than most of the people he's competing against.
I didn't realize that.
He has the most submissions in the history of the UFC. Well, Oliveira, Chandler caught him. He caught him and hurt him.
Yep.
And then one of the things that Oliveira does when he gets hurt, he just goes right to his back.
That's some Nate Diaz shit.
It's smart because his guard is nasty. His guard is so wicked. He submits
What did he do
people.
with Gaethje? Did Gaethje go into his guard?
No, Gaethje kind of stepped back out. But he cracked Gaethje. Gaethje said
First 8 seconds.
something about the way he hit him. He said he hit him so hard he felt it in his tongue.
Yeah.
He's like, it's just like, he goes like, that guy can.
He said he
fucking
never got
crack.
hit like that before, and that's
which
scary.
Is wild. You know, oftentimes in the UFC, you'll see guys when they go up in weight, they become their best version. Like Charles Oliveira is a great example of that. Like he fought for 145 for a while rather, and he fought very well, but never really hit the strides that he hit when he went up to 155.
He's on a roll now.
Oh my God, he's so good.
He's on a roll.
He's so good.
And he you know, people take different approaches. They talk smack, get fights. You know, there's a whole different ways to do it. He's so respectful. And so nice.
Yes.
And it's like, I mean, whatever, I guess it's different for everybody, but man, he's got something that's working right now, and he's hard not to root for.
Yeah, well, that's who he is. He's a very, very nice guy. And he got screwed in his last fight. There was some shenanigans with the scale. Oliveira holds the record, and it's the way he does it, man. Jiu-jitsu is a wild thing. Like, there's guys that are smaller than me, and I'll grapple with them, and I'm in deep danger from the moment you start sparring, because they're just so much better than me. They're just better. And that's the difference between Oliveira and these guys. It's like they're all really good standing up. He's really good standing up. So there's kind of like an even playing field. But when that motherfucker gets a hold of you, you're in deep danger.
Yeah.
Terrifying danger where you can't make any mistake. You have to be like Oliveira. Like, good luck. Take me down. I'll fucking strangle you off my back.
That's why, dude, everyone's counting him out against Makhachev. I'm like, I don't know
you
about
can't count
because down there, he
Oliveira
loves it
against
down there.
anyone. Oliveira's, something happened to him, and if you that's a great example of judging a guy by his losses. Because if you look at his losses to Cub Swanson, if you look at his losses to Paul Felder,
He quit.
You're like, there's no way this guy's going to be the best in the world.
He had some quit in him.
Something happened, and I think they say that it's the birth of his daughter.
Really?
And that when his kid was born, he just changed everything, and he became like just this ferocious
Savage.
fucking assassin in there, man. It's
called dad mode.
There's no one that's been like that, where you see one version of them that kind of has a little bit of quit in them, and then a version that is unstoppable.
Never.
Never. And he fights like a
Never.
Terminator. But in jiu-jitsu, if you get a guy like Charles Oliveira, who's that good at jiu-jitsu, he could strangle a fucking heavyweight.
Yeah, sure.
And I've seen it. I've
And
seen it
probably
happen.
could.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I've seen it. Guy who doesn't know jiu-jitsu and he's rolling just doing jiu-jitsu with a guy like him, and he gets your back. Oliveira's jiu-jitsu is some of the best I've ever seen in MMA. It's like
Seamless.
world championship caliber jiu-jitsu, but he's doing it in an MMA match. He's the one guy where it doesn't matter what happens in the fight. If you go to the ground with him, you're in deep shit.
Yeah.
Like that Dustin Poirier fight.
They're all scared to do it.
Yes.
Like Gaethje had him hurt.
Yes.
And he's like, no.
Well, when you see what happened when he dropped Gaethje and then he got on top of him, he just strangles you.
Choose
just
your
goes
poison.
straight to it.
I think he's at a resurgence too, because I remember when he was like kind of got on this roll, they were like, oh, dude, nah, I don't think so, because he's a quitter. You know, he's weak. I'm like, all right, dude, fuck that.